So 2 officers from HMP Frankland, it's in the high security estate, have been taken to hospital. They were doing a cell spin, a cell search, and they've inhaled fentanyl. Fentanyl, what a nasty, nasty drug. Apparently, a pen tested later positive for said drug. Dangerous, that, innit? Not to be sniffed at. Pun intended. It's dangerous, lethal. A few grains can take someone down. America flooded. They've taken the brown stuff, mixed it with fentanyl, and now fentanyl they're mixing with benzodiazepines. Very, very dangerous drug in prison. So the Ministry of Justice, absolutely boils my piss, this statement, says they've inherited the problem, the drug problem in prisons from the previous government. I'm not going to laugh at that. Everything, apparently, now is the previous government's fault. It's been around a long time, hasn't it, in prison. Believe it or not, the drug of choice used to be weed, cannabis and derivatives. Chill out, maybe get the munchies, have the giggles. Everyone nice and calm in prison. In Mexican prisons, I don't know whether they still do that, used to be bushels of this stuff. Big wings, 150, 200 people. Big bushels of weed. Everyone chilled and calm. But then we started drug testing, didn't we? And people could get punishment, including added days on their sentence. 30 days it's in your system. Weed, they went to the brown, didn't they? Out your system in no time. Caused a whole generation of prisoners to become addicts. So back to Frankland, the IMB, Independent Monitoring Board. They are people who volunteer to go into prison. They're there for prisoners and staff. I met some good ones in my time and also some bad ones who caused problems. The realities of prison, there's some dangerous people in there and some people are blind to it. So another almost laughable but not quite statement is that they've started using the exercise yards, which they found to be beneficial. The clue is in the title, exercise yard. That's what they thought. Prisoners have been banged up more and more. Not enough staff, not enough staff. It's a bad environment. How do they get drugs in prison? How do they get them in? They've been spraying paper for years now. According to this report, and this has just happened, it's quite a new thing, they spray paper, legal documents. So imagine you've got a sheet of paper being sprayed with drugs, up to £150 a sheet, it's thought. There are prisons where prisoners no longer receive cards and mail directly from families. That'll stop at some point. They photocopy everything. So if there is something sprayed with drugs, it's not getting to the wings. They talk about other strategies, body scanners and the like. Dogs. Sniffer dogs are successful. They're an amazing tool. The thing is, the dogs come with a human, yeah, who you pay a wage to. There's a cost. And dogs can only work for short periods of time, maybe 20 minutes. So if you've got 2 dogs, maybe 20 minutes each on visits. Visits can be happening all afternoon, every day. 4 or 5 different lots of visits. Supply and demand. The last decade, it's declined the prison system. Drugs everywhere, more people taking them. started using exercise yards. It's not good, is it? What other strategies are there? Who knows? But I'll tell you now. A carrots worker, that's a drugs worker, used to work in Strangeways. Very good at her job. Very passionate. I once asked her what was the best she could hope for an addict. Someone with a serious addiction, long term. She said needle exchange. That's it, needle exchange. When they got out of prison, they would use a needle exchange. Wouldn't stop taking drugs. You're not getting people off drugs. I believe in Scottish prisons, they've started using, for want of a better word, drug rooms. Somewhere in prison where prisoners can take the drugs, maybe have them tested. You know, like the raves, to be able to buy ecstasy, I don't know whether you still can, and get it checked out to make sure you were taking the right gear, aren't being cut with anything nasty, like fentanyl. What do you think to that idea? Scotland used to, again, I don't know whether they still do, have cutting rooms. They pioneered cutting rooms, so people used to self-harm, very small percentage of the prison population. Not the manipulators, them maybe childhood trauma and abuse. They could go use sterile blades and cut themselves. What do you think to that? So, the officers in Frankland, let's hope them a speedy recovery. Let's hope they keep using the exercise yards. But you ain't stopping drugs. Again, something nobody's talked about is corruption. Loads and loads of staff. Young, old, inexperienced, falling in love and the like. Taking stuff into prison. You see the sentences people are receiving, they're a joke. They're an absolute joke, it's not a deterrent. I'm just going to leave it there, guys. I'd like to thank you for your continued support. God bless all of you. Thanks for coming. I'll see you. Brian? Brian, come on.